Hello and welcome to InspireHer. I am Atinuke Odjenimah and it's wonderful to have you with us. In today's challenging economic landscape, the temptation to stretch beyond our means can be strong, but true power lies in mastering our finances. Today, we're flipping the script to champion the incredible freedom and peace that come from being a smart spender, thriving within your means, not as a limitation, but as a strategic choice. And I am so fortunate to share this conversation with our powerhouse panelists, the seasoned financial expert and woman of gravitas, former banker Esther Evbodaghe, and our inspiring champion of healthy living and empowerment, successful pharmacist Ngozi Ochuba. Ladies, it's great to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so how are we doing, first of all? How are we doing today?
I'm good.
Fine.
Okay, so yeah, our finances today is talking about money. So our topic today is smart spenders, real winners, thriving within your means. I mean, I think this is a conversation that we should really have, because you know, in an age and time where, of course, we know the economic reality in Nigeria. And if we have to look at it from a global perspective, it is like that. There's an economic, there's a global economic recession. But I believe that people in developing countries will be most vulnerable, just as we are in Nigeria. So, but you know, in Nigeria, we are money people. We like to look good. We like to show up. We like to throw parties. And yet, school fees are on the increase. House rent is also on the increase. You know, with our own economic reality in Nigeria, how then can we really look into this topic to say the topic is smart spenders, real winners, thriving within our means? But while we are looking at it, can we try to, you know, in our own ways, not something big, of course, because we are not economists, and neither do I think that we're all financial gurus, but in our own ways, what do we think that living within our means mean? What does it mean to you as an individual? You speak from your own, yeah.
For me, thanks for this topic. I think it's a good one at this time. For me, living within my means, it's looking carefully at what I spend my money on and making sure that whatever I'm spending my money on is money that I earn and I have that money. I don't know if I'm making sense.
You're making sense, because when you said you earn and have that money, I'm thinking like, okay, money you earn and that you can afford.
Yes, what I can afford.
You can afford.
I spend on, you know, I have to know what I have. I have to be truthful to myself. What I have, that if I spend on whatever I'm spending on, it will not affect me. It will not put pressure on my daily living.
Good. Living within your means, what you can afford, and it won't put pressure on other things that you want to do.
Yes, that's how I understand.
Fantastic.
it.
Madam Esther, what does it mean to you?
Well, living within your means means spending less than you earn and adjusting your lifestyle to match your income.
Really, you're a banker.
You know, and there are ways to go about this. You have to budget smartly. You know your sources of income, salary, business, side hustles. You list them, then you know what your expenses are for the month. Your rents, your transportation, and food. So you track all these spendings. Then avoid unnecessary waste and cut costs where necessary. For instance, on food, you can decide to do bulk buying. And if you cannot afford that, then go for a cheaper alternative. Then on transportation, if you cannot fuel your car, then go on public transport. If you must rent a house, rent a place that is within your income, your financial reality, even if it's not your dream location. So it's very important that you do that. Then avoid debt. If you must borrow money, make sure it's for something productive. Maybe to start a business or something that is very productive. Then as much as you can, you must save money, because you need money for emergencies. So it's very important. Awesome. And adjusting your lifestyle is very important here, because if you are earning 100,000 naira in a month and you spend 120, you are not living within your means. But if you spend 80,000 and you save 20,000 naira, then you are doing very well, even with inflation. So I would just say living within your means being wise with your money, cutting back where necessary or needed, and focusing on your needs over your wants. So that's what it means to live within your needs.
Focusing on your
needs over your wants. Yes.
Okay. So needs, wants, what's the difference?
Well, needs are things you cannot do without. Things that you need for your daily survival, like food, clothing, transportation, and for some people, medication.
It is important that you must wear clothes.
Yes.
It's important that you must eat.
You must eat.
So
you can't do without
those are
them.
what?
Yes.
Those are needs.
Yes.
You need those things to survive.
Yes.
To stay alive.
Yes. But your wants are those things that are not really necessary
that you can do without.
Yes, for your daily survival.
So
but you just want to have that iPhone, the latest iPhone, those designers shoes and bags.
When you can buy some other smaller phones.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So those are your needs and your wants.
Your wants.
Yes. You don't really need them to survive, but you just desire them. You want them.
So if we say now that needs are things about our lives that we need to survive that we can't do without.
Yes.
So now wants are now what? I want us to
wants are those things that you don't necessarily need to survive.
So you said an iPhone. Let me give you an example.
Yes.
So you need a phone.
Yes.
It's a need.
But it doesn't have to be an iPhone.
Okay, good.
Doesn't have to be an iPhone. It can be any other.
You need to go to parties. It's part of life. Social is part of life, right?
Yes.
But you don't have to buy every Ashwebi.
No, that's not a need. It's a want. Yes.
So transportation in Lagos is very stressful.
Yes.
I need a car.
Yes.
Is it a need or a want?
Well, buying a car is a want.
It can be a need actually, depending on where you have to go to, how much movement you make in a day, and for security purposes sometimes too you may need a car. But now it depends on what kind of car do you want to buy
that fits into you.
And if you can afford the car, there are situations that you can't even afford that car. So you have to go on public transport.
You won't. You may need a car, but you can't afford it. You have to hold on.
We are progressing because, you know, there's this popular saying about women don't talk about money, their finances, budgeting and all of that. I think that's what this episode is going to try to help us to be, to address and be realistic.
And what is most important is, before you spend that money, for you to justify whether it is a need or want, you must ask yourself some basic questions. Like, this thing I'm trying to spend this money on, do I really need it to survive?
Can I do without it?
Can I do without it? Is it helping me reach my bigger goals?
Or do I have alternative?
Yes, and if you cannot answer that question, you can give yourself 24 hours to 48 hours. You'll find out in most cases that desire will go. So that tells you that it is a want, and what you wanted to do was an impulse purchase. Which you have
impulse decision making.
Yes. So these are some of the things that you can avoid.
Okay. So in what practical steps can we assess our current financial situation? How do we assess our financial situation? So I'm thinking now that to say, well, this is where I am financially. Right. So what are the practical ways that we can assess our own financial situation to say, okay, so how do I determine that I can't afford that car? Oh, I want it, I desire it.
You know what you earn.
Thank you.
Like she said, you know what you earn from, even if you're earning from different sources.
Yeah.
You know in totality what you earn. And if you don't know, then it's time to sit down and write down everything and know exactly what is coming in. Because sometimes some people don't even know what they are earning. Because you may be running a business and you're actually busy spending people's money. Maybe you are getting goods on credit and you think you're rich, but you are going down into debt. So you have to be sure what you earn. Then you have to be able to track your expenses.
Very important.
What you spend every month to live in your life, your rent, your food, your repairs, electricity. By the time you track all that, you write out every single detail. Then you begin to see what is a want. It becomes clear in black and white. These are wants. these are needs, these are even waste. I know in Nigeria here, a lot of people do DSTV subscription and they never open their TV for one day.
I agree.
That's right.
And
They are at work they leave the house by 5, they come back by 11, but they even subscribe to the very big
let me also add, a lot of us, some of us too, we pay for gym subscriptions.
And you never miss
that we'll go there.
So
we'll go there one day
and reaching somebody
yeah.
and you'll find out that you are wasting money that could have been put into use. Even that money could have been saved and it's earning money somewhere. That money you spent for a gym subscription, 30,000 a month, could actually have been earning money somewhere.
You know that evaluating our assessing our financial status is something we really don't do. Sometimes we look at our financial status from peers. Do you understand? To say, oh, I live in Ikoyi. And meanwhile, your true financial status, your true financial situation
you should be somewhere else.
You should be somewhere else.
That's right. You're right.
Then sometimes we don't want to tell ourselves the truth anyway, because sometimes some of us are struggling to meet up with that lifestyle or with those expenses we make. We see the struggle. We are owing, we are in debt, and we just keep
you know your financial situation. You know that you are in debt. You have some bese.
You just keep believing that
right?
magic will happen somewhere.
So, but why do we tell ourselves these lies? Why? Because when we tell ourselves these lies, it means that we're trying to shy away from knowing or accepting our true financial situation.
You know,
so sometimes business is not going on too well. Or sometimes,
and we know it's the truth. Instead of us to now, make decisions based on reality, we just keep postponing doing the right thing, just hoping, living on hope that something would happen. But that is not the true situation. That takes us back to a topic we had at the time when we talked about living the fake life and something like that. A lot of us don't tell ourselves the truth. You actually have to reassess yourself sometimes. You must have your time for reflection. Tell yourself the truth and take the bull by the horn. If you need to change location where you live, like she mentioned in her intro.
I was about saying that what are the ways that we can adjust, but you mentioned it also in your intro when you were talking about if you have to do bulk buying because you cannot afford to do it. If you have to change your excuse me, in this age and time in Nigeria, how can you leave Ikoyi and go and live where again? No?
So would you rather?
No, let's be
would you rather stay at Ikoyi and have high blood pressure?
Accumulating your
reality.
When your landlord is flying to another
that's
place,
not your financial reality.
So now advise me.
No, but like she
if
said,
you're asking me to leave Ikoyi, I mean, just because I have done I've assessed my financial situation.
She already said that.
You have to look for a location that is within your financial income.
How people see me?
We talked about that. That is what it is. And that is what it is with a lot of us. And she just said something.
But let's be realistic. I don't think that is
paycheck to paycheck without savings. If you're not saving today, what about the rainy days? What about when you retire? What about your investments?
So why don't people save? Why don't we save? Why is savings low?
We just said it. You're living beyond your means.
That's it. You are earning 100,000, like I said,
and you are not
120.
making any savings.
How do you save?
Beyond
you can't save because you are living above your means. And what we are discussing right now is living within your means.
So it means that
so living within means now. How can we make deliberate spending choices? You continue your thought of, your flow of thoughts, please. But then when you are continuing, just insert, how we can control our spending. So she will pick it up too.
We've just been saying this. When you look at when you write down all your expenses, you know what it's been taking your money, you know what you've been struggling with. Then you begin to remove those things that are not your needs. One by one. If I have to buy a weave-on, when I enter the market, there are weave-ons of 3,000, 50,000, 1 million. If I'm earning 500,000 a month, how do I walk into a shop and now buy weave-on for 1 million? that month? Where is the other 500,000 naira going to come from? So if I need to buy something like that, I must have been earning big. I must have planned for it over time, not an impulse buying because you saw somebody buying it. So number one, we have to eliminate impulsive buying, spending. Like she said, give yourself 24 to 48 hours, and I'm sure your inner self will tell you whether that thing you want to spend money on.
So impulsive is, I like this thing, no.
Can I have to?
You just buy it.
Somebody comes.
This thing is beautiful. Then you just pay for it.
You're just happy.
And it's not in your budget. You don't have a plan for it.
Or you think you just have the money at that time and I can pick this thing. I have the money now.
Yes.
Emotional buying. That's emotional buying. Sometimes you buy something because it's my friend that is selling it. Then you take money that should have been for school fees. Money that should have put for school fees, or money that you should have budgeted for developing your skills so that you can actually earn to afford that, and you waste it. Because some of the things we buy, we don't even use half of them.
Conscious spending choices. Consciously.
Very intentional.
But you guys are saying it like as if it's easy.
It's discipline. That is the word. And it actually depends on where you see yourself going.
Yeah.
What vision of yourself do you have in the next 3 years, 5 years, 20 years? Do you want to remain where you are struggling? Or do you want to be a better person financially and otherwise?
So how can women, as women, how do we resist peer pressure and societal expectations to overspend?
You have to decide what is important to you. Decide what your goals are. Your goals can be, maybe you want to buy that property, or maybe you want to rent that apartment, or you want to save for a business, or pay off that debt. So you focus on your goals. When you have clear goals, then it becomes easy to, focus on where you are going, so you are not distracted. Then you must try and make a budget. A lot of times people are afraid of making budgets because they feel that budget is restrictive. But the truth is that budgets will give you permission to spend your money on what is important. So it's very important for us to make budgets. Then you have to, be honest with your friends. Early this year, for instance, in January, I called a friend of mine, and I told her what my financial goals are for the year. And she understood me in clear terms because we share the same value.
Okay.
So it's not all friends that you explain details to. To some, you can just say something like, well, I'm watching my spending right now, which is very okay. So you need to understand that. Then you have to choose your circle wisely. You don't need to be everywhere. You spend more time with people that respect your values and less time with people who pressure you to spend. You don't need to cut off anyone, but you can set boundaries. So these are some of the ways that you can, then at the same time, you should try as much as possible to track your progress. Just make sure whatever you are doing, you track what your achievements are, and you are content with what you are
done so far.
Yes, with what you've done so far. So that way, if you are not comparing yourself or measuring yourself against other people, your friends, for instance, then you are on your way to achieving your goals.
Oh, do you have anything? Do you have something to say to that? Because the one I like the most, a lot of what she said is, call your friends. Tell them about your financial plan or your financial status. Yes. So that they don't drag you into what is
not on your map.
Yes.
You don't leave your direction and flow somewhere.
Yes,
the only thing I'll add to all she said is like, really, if you decide that somebody should really be a close friend, then it should be somebody that brings value to you.
Yes.
Not somebody that makes you lose even the little you have. But
you know, there are friends, and there are some friends and families that they will call you. They see or they know of any business opportunities that they know that you can do or something. They will call you into it. And while some, it is, guess what? I saw that bag. You need to
then
get
you
it.
Carried away. But if you've already decided, you know, there's an inner will. You've decided what you want to be.
I think that's the goals she mentioned
about. You must have
about.
your goals. So people can make noise about all the designer bags. You can hear their story and say, oh, I've heard, thank you. And it ends there. Nobody's going to force you or push you to sign the check to go and get the bag.
Okay. So
you need to minimize or use social media mindfully, because that's where all this pressure comes from. When you are constantly comparing yourself or measuring yourself against people online, then you'll be under pressure. So you need to be careful and unfollow all those accounts that pressure you to spend.
Awesome.
Or makes you feel less than yourself.
Awesome. This conversation, this money conversation is really getting
Sometimes
interesting.
Not even only social media, even the people beside you.
Yeah, right.
And also your psyche. If you're always wanting to measure up. Mr. Ade just bought a brand new Mercedes.
Your neighbor.
So is it that they will now say Mr. Ade is doing better than me? Mr. Ade is not even competing with you. You are the ones competing with who knows who.
That's right.
So sometimes it even comes from your mindset, the kind of mindset you have, the psyche you have. If you are the type that likes to show off, you find that you put yourself under pressure to do things that are not necessary.
Very true.
Then sometimes you have friends, forget social media, some people come to your house just to confuse you.
Is it only house?
Why are you still wearing this kind of... This one is no more raining now. This was like from 5 years ago. Haven't you heard of the latest?
Who made the rules?
And you listen to all those nonsense. That person is not bringing value to you. And you listen to all those nonsense and you let the person drag you.
And you know,
you allow
the
yourself to be dragged into what is not necessary.
It's not only your friends, neither are they only your neighbors. Do you know this peer pressure also goes to when you go to your children's school?
Yeah, right.
I think it really depends on every individual. You have to develop yourself to an extent that you
are focused on what you want and on who you are.
And you know that your worth is not from what you own. It's not from material things. You should know that your worth is not from material things. So people can show off all they want and you are not moved.
You see, let's quickly go on a short break. We will continue the conversation. It's getting more interesting.
Thank you.
Are you in
Welcome back. You ladies were talking about some things before we went on break, and particularly I just want to pick out a particular thing, and that's on budget. So what do we understand as budget? So why do we need to budget, and what's effective budgeting? You know, what's effective budgeting? Let's just talk on budget, since we're talking about smart spending.
Yes, it's just a financial plan that guides your spending. So it's a way of ensuring that your income and expenses are well taken care of. It guides you in knowing how much you have in terms of cash flow and knowing how to channel, you know, what you have to meet your various areas of need. And you know, the strategy to really adopt is to understand that we have various income earners. Let's even look at it from bottom to top. We have the low income earners. We are talking of the street vendors, the artisans, junior staff, daily wage earners. For this set of people, they need to track all their income. Because they are paid daily.
Track their income daily.
Their income daily, because it's a daily pay they receive. So they track it and track their expenses as well. As expenses as small as the sachet water they just buy, drink and trash, that bottle of Coke, they are all important. So you track all those expenses. And for this set of people, the rule to apply is the 50-30-20 rule, but in their case, it will be modified. So their 50% should go to their basic needs. Then 40% this time.
Of their money.
Of their money. So 40% this time should go to their essentials and emergencies. Then 10% should go to their savings.
And this is for people who are
low income earners.
Low income earners.
Yes, and the way to achieve this is to belong to a cooperative. You know, there is this group they belong to, Ajo or Isusu.
I think
yes, and it's very important because it will help to instill discipline in them to save, and also enable them have access to bulk money when needed. Then for the middle income earners, like civil servants, office workers, and small business owners, they have to budget smartly. They have to have a monthly budget plan that will guide. They know what they are expecting in the month, and they know what their monthly expenses are. Like maybe for those paying monthly rent, although rent is usually annually, but
they can deduct from it every month.
Yes, food and then transportation. Those are things
this is how much that takes me to work.
Yes, break it down.
So to say, this is what takes me to work every day.
Yes.
So, and in a week, this is what takes me in a month. So this is what it is.
Yes, so they need to just have a budget to guide them, and at the same time, they also apply this same rule, 50-30-20 rule. So their 50% should go to their needs, 30% to one, then 20% to savings and or loan debt repayment. But most importantly, they should set up an automatic transfer to a savings account. When we were working, those were some of the things we did. A situation whereby you just give a standing instruction. So you know when your salary comes.
Once it comes in.
Yes, so at they just sweep it to that savings account. It will help you. And you must learn to build an emergency fund, like 3 to 6 months emergency fund that can take care of your expenses, assuming there is a job loss, income drop, or business a law in your business. So everybody around you does not need to know that
at least
you are
for
having
the first 3 months.
Yes.
In other areas, they say you pay yourself first. That's what she's trying to do.
Yes.
And that savings is paying yourself first. Because the truth is that if you don't have savings, growing savings, you can't invest, you can't build wealth.
That's true.
Because it will come to a point where that's your saving. That savings should be put into work. That money should work and even bring in more income.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is how you grow.
Yes, and like
that is how you can move from one level of income, like she said, to another level. And you keep going.
Yes, and like Ngozi said now, they should also try and invest. It's very important, no matter how small. And they should start with safe options, like fixed deposit, mutual fund, treasury bill. At least you are sure of those options.
You know, let me quickly comment there.
Yes.
You know that low income earners, as we're trying to say, or let's say mid-level.
We are talking of middle income earners now.
You know, investments seem to be like a very big or far away thing. But I like what you said now, that, you know, when you save, what you said, growing savings. So when you save and your savings is increasing and it has gotten to a particular amount, you could then take out that savings, then invest it into a sector or an area that you know you are a little bit knowledgeable.
The mutual funds she just mentioned now, I know a lot of these mutual fund administrators, even with as low as 5,000 naira, you can sign up with them.
Is it for savings or for investments?
For investments.
Interesting.
So when people say I earn so low, I can't
I cannot.
They don't understand that they are keeping themselves where they are. Because the only way you can get yourself out of that pit is to save and invest.
Talking about savings, I remember one day I was at the salon and my hairdresser was telling me about that once she buys one crate of egg, that crate of egg must last them for 1 month too. However they are going to do it, that is none of our business. So if they must last for 1 month. And it's reasonable because I think a crate of egg now is about 5,000, 6,000 naira. Yeah. And it makes sense because she has other things. That's just egg out of other things she's going to be buying for food. Right? So she said she doesn't mind if they eat all the egg in one day. There is none of that business, but just know that it's for the month.
Eating your monthly budget for 1 day.
You have eaten your egg for the month.
For the month. Because
being very disciplined.
Talking about budgeting, thank you. Because if you don't budget well, it would affect savings.
A lot of people
it would affect savings. Then it would affect
people borrowing, overspending and borrowing instead of saving.
On borrowing legitimately, you know what I mean? Like
we need to
go to food. Like we need to eat now.
I don't have enough money.
We need to eat.
But like we said, we are talking about eating or living within your means, right?
Yeah.
Then you, of course, like I said, finally you have the high income earners.
Yes.
For those set of people, their income and expenses are usually complex. So detailed digital budgeting tools will help them, like apps and spreadsheets can help them track their complex income and expenses. And they should, prioritize their long-term savings and, keep to their spending plan and diversify their investment. And as such, at that level, they should hire a financial advisor.
At that level,
yes.
Can I afford the financial advisor like this?
When you are at that income level,
that's true. Then talking about saving strategies, so I was even telling my own daughter too. I said, see, that download Piggyvest.
Okay.
Download Cowry Wise or something. There are a lot of all these savings app. I said, and the beautiful thing about them, that there is daily. Even me, I do it all. I'm telling you, there was one Christmas like that. Man, that Christmas we flexed.
I flexed. So you
know what I did? I started with take from my account, remove 1,000 naira every day.
And before you know it, in a year, that's
360,000.
And you can give yourself without touching
the real money. Where I go to deliberately, set aside something to save. So because we need to talk, we're talking about what's it called, budgeting and saving strategies for different income levels. Yeah. So so it's something that everybody, for whatsoever income level that you are in, you could do that. That's true. Even those, because you mentioned digital monitoring apps and things like that, so that's I mentioned all those ones. And it's as low as even 500 naira.
The about saving it's this. Like she said, if you are spending all you earn and you're not making savings, you are living above your means.
Should I also say that?
So this is how I want to put it. When your money comes in, even if all the money you earn in a month is 3,000 naira, remove that 10%, which is 300 naira. Because if you were not going to die with 3,000 naira, you won't die with 2,007.
I see.
That 300
I see.
And save.
Some people will say that I don't have smartphones that I can download. How about the cost of data? Hello, there's still something, that thing now. We call it kolo in Yoruba. I don't know if you know it. Piggy bank. Yeah, so get a piggy bank. You can do it yourself. And sometimes also people in the market, they use ajo.
They do all this.
They do ajo. You mentioned it. So there's actually saving strategies, different saving strategies.
The low-income earners are very good at savings. Because they don't joke with this. They are ajo and susu. So they do so well in their cooperative.
And that helps a lot of them to move up their financial ladder. It helps a lot of them.
Wow. So you mentioned something about discipline. Yes, about discipline, because discipline is what will make us to stay true to the budget. Straight to the budget, and also discipline to save, because it be like everything in life, everything just go, they call your name, come.
Men don't answer when they call.
Just calling your name. Okay, so now let's look at the long-term benefits. You know, the long-term benefits of living within one's means.
Okay.
You know, like peace of mind, investment opportunities, you know, debt reduction. You know, let's talk about that, long-term benefits. You know, some people will say that you don't know tomorrow. Enjoy your life today.
No, but the benefits are
chop the head of your life.
It's all clear. I mean, if you're living in debt, like you just said, there's no peace of mind, and that affects your overall health. Once you don't have peace of mind, your immunity drops. I can tell you that for free. Once there's no peace of mind,
in fact, this one that you said is a game changer.
Any code,
there's the relationship between money and your health
that passes, you'll be the first to get it, because your hormonal balance is not what it should be. It won't be on top.
Have you heard of people that say that when they are broke, they are sick?
Yes, but it's not. That is not just psychological. It's actually a scientific finding that when there's no peace of mind, no. But look at it now. Generally, people that are not happy, even researches show that people that are not happy are more prone. The risk for cardiovascular disease, cancer, and whatever, it's higher.
That's true.
So knowing that
happiness alone, and how can you cannot be happy if you are owing the whole world, because the pressure will be on you. So it's better.
So no matter how much you have saved somewhere, you have peace of mind. At least I get 5,000 naira away there somewhere.
You know, the benefits are many. You can sleep well, better sleep. You know that your expenses are paid.
Which boils down to better
health. Like Ngozi said, no headache, no high blood pressure, lack of stress. You are not stressed up because you are not thinking of how am I going to pay this fee or whatever. Then you have financial freedom. There's nothing as good as enjoying financial freedom. You know, you are able to decide how you want to spend your money.
That I can buy whatever thing that I want.
You are not limited to just what you can afford, but this time around you can choose to use your money for what you want.
Once in a while, you know,
then sometimes you gain control, because when you enjoy financial freedom, then you gain some control because you decide what you want to do with your money. Then you even have stronger relationship. If you are married, you don't get into argument with your husband for there's no tissue in the house, no dish soap.
I see. Financial freedom.
So you enjoy stronger relationship.
This is a key message for women.
Yes, because it's very important.
Because
for
in some homes,
yes,
if the father is not,
nothing is done. No, that's not a good way to live. So you enjoy that in your marriage, and apart from that, you just no depression. You are not thinking of, how do I cope with this bill or whatever, So those are the benefits. There are many.
I agree. So as women now, how do we teach our children, the value of financial prudence and contentment? How do we, as we are women, we are nurturers. Yeah. So how do we pass this financial prudence and contentment to our children?
You have to be honest and have honest conversation with them. Sometimes don't say that they are too small to understand. Because I remember that at a point, my little girl, when she was like 7, if she follows me to the shopping complex, when she wants to pick something, she'll now come and say, "Mommy, do you have money for this? Can I pick it? Can you afford it?" And I'll say, "Today I can't, but when we can, we'll pick it."
Awesome.
So sometimes she remind me, "Mommy, have you been saving? Can we afford it now?" I'll say, "Even this is not so important. This is coming up. Don't you think we should channel the money to this?" So that was already teaching her. And now she's grown. She's in secondary school. It's the same thing. Even when she wants to buy uniform, she wants to, replace her uniforms. "Mom, I think I will need to replace my uniforms next time. Please, are you planning for it? Can you afford it?" I'm already teaching her you don't just wake up and on impulse the money is there, you just start spending. So we have to have these conversations with them, and it's not everything they demand for. You just throw and give to them and say you're spoiling your children. I know
you are giving them the life that you did not have.
The life you did not have. At the end of the day, you see them struggling financially when they're on their own, because they would not have the discipline to budget, to plan, and to save. And they find out that they are always under pressure to survive.
Talking about the experience you had with your child. So I'm reminded, as we are talking, I just remember that, I have an example like that. So I think that women too, we should also live by example. Children watch us more than what we say. So it's good to have honest conversations, but much more that they are very observant and watchful of our actions. How do I mean?
You see, let me just say here that you have to teach your children what financial prudence is. Let them even understand that financial prudence is being wise with money. And let them know the value of contentment, being happy with what they are, with what they have. Because children, like you said now, they learn by example.
Yes.
If you are a mother that saves money, you invest, and you don't chase after the latest thing, your children knows because they observe you.
Yes.
So you need to teach them, because you model what you want them to see to them.
Yes.
So they are watching you. You are their role model.
Yes.
So they know how you are living your life. And you have to discuss money with them in your everyday life.
Absolutely.
Let them know that money is important, and this is why we need money. But at the same time, we have to use money wisely. When you go out to the store to shop, take your children with you. And when you get there, teach them how to buy affordable things, things that have value.
We don't even need to go to we don't even need to even get to the stores.
Yes.
Like let me give you an example. When my children were still in primary school, so when I'm taking them off from school to the house, on Lagos Road, you see gala, you can buy everything. And so my children say, "Mommy, but till today, we don't wind down our glass to buy anything on the road."
Wow.
Yes.
Honestly, from there, so the example I even wanted to cite, I bought, it was one of my children's values through our actions, training our children, one of the party packs when we were still in primary school. So I bought, I gave out party packs for, what's it called, this piggy bank. There's this metal container that they sell as party pack items. So I gave it out to students, to children. So I gave a book and then a lot of other goodies. Do you see the values even through our actions? So one of it remained. I was like, oh, this thing was there. So I just, every change that I have, like 500 naira or 1,000 naira, I just straight into it. So one day, I was like, this thing, let me just open it. I think in 4 months or thereabout, or 4 or 5 months, I opened, and my children were, it's an open place in my room. So what I was like, oh, let's just open it. So you go and get me knife. Let's cut this thing. So everybody said, hey. So they gathered around me. And guess what? And we started unfolding. You know how you squeeze money into that stuff? And so we started unfolding it. So you put the 500 together. You put 200 together. You put all 1,000 together. Guess what? We're able to count 110,000 naira. There's nothing as as something to shift their torso, like, oh, mom. So and they saw me dancing, and hey, I have 100,000 naira. Okay, so but really, so really,
practical,
very yes, teaching by our actions, from having the conversations to even seeing us living that life, to like, okay, you have to be contented, you have to be able to afford it, plan for it, like,
and you need to teach them the difference between need and want. Let them understand what a need is. Let them know that it's their food, their clothes, their school supplies, and let them know that the wants are those snacks, those toys, those gadgets. They need to know. Let them know also that it's not bad to want anything, but the way you go about it, you have to plan for it. It's very important.
You have to.
So that way you just
plan.
Yes, that way
you don't just wake up.
Yes. So that way you raise a child that is smart with money. and at the same
Awesome.
time satisfied with life.
Awesome. So do we have stories of women who are thriving by living authentically and within their financial means? Do we have such women, maybe as mothers, as grandmothers, or possibly if we have them as friends?
The only person I would just use, which maybe most people know, is, I would say, Ibuku Awushika.
Shika, okay.
Everybody knows her for her authentic lifestyle and purpose-driven lifestyle.
Awesome. She's a good example for this.
You know her from her humble background to a successful businesswoman and a role model to so many entrepreneurs. And she emphasizes,
I agree with you.
Authentic living.
Yes.
Not using borrowed money.
And she even talked a lot about contentment and prudence.
Not using borrowed money to fund a lifestyle.
That you can't afford.
Then reducing social media success pressure, all those pressure from social media. And she talks about building wealth with integrity.
Oh yes,
with character.
Awesome. Yes,
so
you follow her a lot. Yeah,
so
she's really an example.
She's
really an example.
Readily,
thank you, thank you so very much. Yeah, she's really a very good example, and I like that. Me too, and it shows that you follow her very well. Thank you so very much, ladies.
Thank you.
What an insightful discussion today on Smart Spenders, Real Winners. Thank you, Esther and Ngozi, for sharing your wealth of knowledge and practical wisdom.
Thank you very much, Atinuke, for having me.
Atinuke, it was a nice time here today. I've learned a lot myself. Thank you.
Thank you, too.
Hi everyone, my name is Chioma Odinze, representing Casafina Development, a real estate firm in Lagos, and I'm giving a shout out to Achievement Channel. Thank you.
My name is Mrs. Imelda Ahunosuji. You can call me Madam Modesty. Please keep watching Achievement Channel.
Absolutely. And to all our viewers, remember, every smart choice today builds a stronger tomorrow. Take control of your money and you take control of your life. Precisely. For all of you watching, let's redefine wealth. It's not about how much you spend, but how wisely you manage, save, and invest. Embrace the power of living within your means to reduce stress and build a foundation for genuine financial freedom. And that brings us to the end of another empowering episode. To our fantastic viewers, thank you for tuning in and being part of this journey. Keep watching the Achievement Channel for more insights, inspiration, and breakthroughs. And always remember, no matter what you face, #we see possibilities.